This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy is traveling to the United States to meet President Joe Biden and visit Congress on Wednesday in his first known overseas trip since Russia's invasion on February 24th. Zelensky said he was going to Washington for talks with Biden to strengthen Ukraine's resilience and defense capabilities and address the US Congress. During the visit, Biden will announce a package of military assistance for Ukraine valued at nearly $2 billion that will include a Patriot missile battery to help it defend itself against barrages of Russian missiles. A senior US official said Zelenskyy's visit, which had been organized in secret until details emerged on Tuesday night, was expected to last several hours. He will hold talks with Biden and top national security aides at the White House, participate in a joint news conference with Biden, and then go to Capitol Hill to address a joint session of the US Senate and House of Representatives. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a statement that Biden invited Zelensky to Washington to underscore the United States' enduring commitment to Ukraine. Hopes faded on Wednesday among relatives of Thai Marines still missing after their warship sank off the country's central coast, even as military-led rescue teams expanded their search area. Just one of a group of 30 missing seamen has been found alive after the HTMS Sukhothai went down late on Sunday when it was knocked over by 4-meter waves and strong winds, and 6 other bodies have been retrieved. The US-made corvette was carrying 105 military personnel, many of whom were rescued as or soon after it sank, while others had to abandon the ship without life jackets and went missing in rough seas. The Navy and Air Force mobilized 5 planes, 6 helicopters, and at least 4 warships to find the missing sailors. The vessel sank about 20 nautical miles from the coast of Prachuap Khiri Khan province, and authorities on Wednesday expanded the search area to cover 40 square kilometers. A powerful magnitude 6.4 earthquake jolted the extreme northern coast of California before dawn on Tuesday, crumbling homes and roads, rupturing utility lines, and leaving thousands of residents without running water and electricity. At least a dozen people were injured and 2 others died from medical emergencies that occurred during or just after the quake. According to the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office, the tremor, which struck at 2:30 a.m. PST and was followed by about 80 aftershocks, was centered 215 miles north of San Francisco offshore of Humboldt County, a largely rural area known for its redwood forest, local seafood, lumber industry, and dairy farms. California's Governor Gavin Newsom proclaimed a state of emergency on Tuesday for Humboldt County to support the emergency response to the earthquake. Newsom has directed state agencies and departments to take appropriate action as necessary to provide support to local communities, according to a statement. The region also is known for relatively frequent seismic activity, although the latest quake appeared to cause more disruption than others in recent years. Beijing faces a surge in severe COVID-19 cases over the next 2 weeks, a respiratory expert in China has said, amid global concerns over possible mutations and knock-on effects for the world economy. After the recent surprise lifting of China's strict zero-COVID policies, the easing of restrictions across China has coincided with a jump in infections experts say will likely gather pace through the winter, with some projections even suggesting China could face more than 1 million deaths next year. We must act quickly and prepare fever clinics, emergency and severe treatment resources, Wang Guangfa, a respiratory expert from Peking University First Hospital, told the country's state-run Global Times on Tuesday. Wang said hospitals should expand ICU beds as a priority and that the COVID-19 peak will likely last until the end of China's Spring Festival, which will fall on January 22nd. COVID-19 cases will then fall off and life should gradually return to normal around the end of February and the beginning of March, Wang said. After the peak, people must not let their guard down, Wang added, describing the dire consequences if the virus were again to transfer between humans and animals. Afghanistan's Taliban-run higher education ministry has said that female students would not be allowed access to the country's universities until further notice. A letter confirmed by a spokesperson for the higher education ministry on Tuesday instructed Afghan public and private universities to suspend access to female students immediately, in accordance with a cabinet decision. The spokesman for the ministry, Zayola Hashimi, who tweeted the letter, confirmed the order to several news agencies, including AFP and the Associated Press. UN spokesman Stephanie Dujarric described the move as troubling. The announcement came as the United Nations Security Council met in New York on Afghanistan. The United States and British UN envoys both condemned the move during the council meeting. The Taliban has defended its decision, saying such restrictions have been done to preserve national interest and women's honor. That is the size of top accurate global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy midweek.